All right, guys, we are joined by Michael Macchiavello from NC State. If you would just sit good and close and talk right in that mic for me.
Hey, buddy.
Reminder, we are transcribing the press conferences off-site, so please raise your hand and wait for a microphone before asking questions. Identify yourself and your outlet. So, first question.
Bryce Willie with the Open At. A year ago, you were down at 84. Now you're back up at 197. Talk about that move you made for the team.
That was it's probably obviously the biggest move of my career. I'm in the NCAA finals now. But it was something that we talked about as a staff and as a team. We had two guys at 184 who could compete at a high level. We had Pete Renda, who was coming off a All-American year, placing third, and then he redshirted the year I wrestled, and I was round of 12 and was the 10 seed. So, you don't want to have two guys at the same weight class who can compete at that level. And we had to figure out, look, it doesn't make sense to have two guys at one weight class, so we got to figure out who's going to go up. And, Pat was gracious enough to tell us, look, I don't care who goes where. You guys figure it out on your own. So, thankfully, we have a great relationship as a team. So Pete and I, we just talked about, hey, where do you want to go? And naturally, I'm a bigger guy. Pete tried the 197 his redshirt year at the Wolfpack Open, and he did a good job, gaining weight, but he kind of plateaued at 200, and me, I kind of hit 215 this summer. So it was an easy decision. I was able to enjoy myself a little bit, and too, it's great on my body. I'm a fifth-year guy, and so staying healthy is one of the biggest battles that you have to overcome during the year. And so, going up was great because I didn't have to run to cut weight. I was able to just kind of wrestle from my weight off, and it was just a lot easier on the knees and all the joints. So.
Mike Finn for Win. Michael, when Kyle pinned Moore today, what was your reaction? And did it affect you at all going into this match, though, especially the way it started?
No, it didn't. We talk all the time, only worry about who you have because the bracket never plays out the way you expect it to. So as much as people telling me, are you ready for Colin Moore in the semis? I'm not thinking about that because you have to get there first. And second of all, you don't know who's going to win. This tournament is probably one of the craziest tournaments I've ever been a part of. You got 1 and 2 seeds losing the first round, and so that's not even in the back of my mind at all. I'm just focusing on what I have to do and get into the next round, and that just kind of played out the way it did, and I was excited to wrestle in the semis.
Mark Jolkover from Flow Wrestling. 2 guys in the finals for NC State.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Feels great, man. Is that the first time we've done that in program history? Yeah, so it's huge, man. I think, we get harped on a lot, NC State's, on the border of being a great team and stuff like that. And I think we're showing out and we're solidifying the fact that we're here. We're going to start being in the team race for years to come, and we're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, Hayden talked about kind of when he came on board, he said, the talk was I wanted to come because it was the chase against Iowa and Penn State, and you guys were going to do it here. And so talk about that culture change that you guys have made at NC State.
Kudos to the coaching staff. It's something that they've implemented, and they told us before we committed as wrestlers, look, this is our attitude, this is our game plan. Either you want to be part of it or you don't. They're very straightforward in the recruiting process, and one, you appreciate that as a recruit because you got a lot of people telling you, what you want to hear to get you to commit to the school. And to have a coaching staff that's very transparent and tells you, how it is. And on top of that, that has very, lofty goals as a program. That's exciting because as athletes, we're very ambitious. We want to excel at a high level. And so, shout out to them for kind of starting that culture and helping it thrive.
Time for one more question in the back.
Mike Willis, USA Wrestling. You punched through for your first All-American honors, and you're in the final. Talk about the progression that you've made, and specifically this year.
Man, well, I guess we'll start high school. I didn't qualify for the state tournament until my junior year of high school. Won 1 North Carolina state title. Was 0-10 against ranked guys my first 2 years in college. Redshirted, had a great redshirt year. Round of 12 last year, and now I'm in the NCAA finals. I will say that my first 2 years, all those losses were really close. So. I wasn't like I was getting torn up, but, it's been very consistent, and the goals remained the same throughout all 4 years. I feel like that's the reason why I'm here today is because I didn't settle. I didn't I just want an All-American. I kept the goal the same and just kept plugging away, so it's been great.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have. Michael, congratulations, and good luck in the finals.
Thank you, guys.